So it's Christmas here in Washington, or almost Christmas. Christmas decorations are up. This is the Bank of America that is right across the street from the Treasury Department, right beside the White House, where they're building the inauguration stadium. And I would love to videotape the inauguration stadium. We'll see how much of it I can get done, because it's become the case that anytime you videotape a public building in Washington, the police run over and tell you you're not allowed to take pictures of or videotape public buildings. Kind of weird. So I'm just going to walk. I'm going to put this down lower so I'm not going to be narrating as if I'm reading my iPad, and we'll see how long it takes for someone to tell me to turn it off. It's the actual pre-viewing stand or grandstand for the inauguration. The inauguration in 2009 happened on this frightfully cold week where temperatures were like 20 degrees in DC and they were 20 degrees below when you added in the wind chill. It was much colder than it had ever been before. I went to Florida to escape it for both psychological and climactic reasons. And if I figure out I can afford it, I will do something like that again this time. I was going by this earlier when they were just beginning the construction. I couldn't figure out what they were doing. I thought they already sealed this street off to anything but people and bicycles. And I thought they were building some kind of bunker or ramp to protect the White House where people might want to drive into it. And then I realized it was for this. It was to watch the inaugural parade. It's even colder this time. People would come, of whom I'm sure there are going to be quite a bit fewer, as there were 7 million or 8 million fewer Obama voters in 2012 than there were in 2008. Equal drop for the Republicans. The plurality of people, 40%, almost a majority, rejected both candidates and didn't vote. At least didn't vote for a president. Anyway, this is what the construction looks like. They've taken over part of Lafayette Park to build it. I'm going to walk around it, because I think if I walk right through it, they're more likely to have a conniption fit and tell me I can't take a picture. That just happened to me filming embassies and the General Service Administration and a number of other things in D.C. The really tricky thing is I'm going to walk backwards while I film it, which will make it more obvious, I think, that I'm filming. And I can walk sideways. This is Lafayette Park, which is actually where some of the very first Tea Parties happened back in 2008. The little yellow building is an Episcopal church that almost all the presidents go to. And you have a run of very fancy hotels. Right there, I think the white building, one of the white buildings is the Chamber of Commerce, and on that street, 16th Street, with all the fancy hotels, is every labor union on earth. Here's a woman she's been doing this since like the 80s or 90s. I don't know if she's actually in there or not. Nope, that was her. She apparently keeps her head wrapped in scarves and a giant wig and actual literal tinfoil and any other thing. She thinks she is protecting herself from the CIA that's beaming radiation at her. And she's usually right across the street from the White House. The building that has the jobs flyer on it. You can see the S, that's the Chamber of Commerce. The white building is a bunch of law firms, I believe. And this little row of townhouses is, I think it's called Jackson Place, although I'm not sure. Anyway, these are all nonprofits. Bush's old Point of Light Foundation was somewhere in there, and for all I know, it still is. I believe the big red building behind houses the International Monetary Fund, or parts of it. This gray 19th century looking building is the old executive office building, so it's the offices for the White House. And they are, you see some establishment shots of that in the Julia Louis-Dreyfus comedy Veep. I forget if that's HBO or Showtime. Anyway, here's the construction again. They've taken over about a fifth of Lafayette Park for these trailers for the construction. And there's the old executive office building. There's the Washington Monument in the background, and there's the White House. And here is more of the construction. Amazingly, no one has yet told me that I have to stop this. But since I'm now walking away from it, I probably am going to stop it anyway.